the Chelmsford For You podcast with Will and Sarah, an exclusive look into all things Chelmsford.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Will Richards.
I'm Sarah Tuffer.
Welcome to the first podcast of 2024 with Chelmsford For You. Today we're at Beresfords.
We are, yes, it's a happy new year. Obviously we're going along the lines of new year, new starts, new changes, all those kinds of things. So where better to be than in Beresfords Estate Agents?
Yes, we are really glad to be here with you guys. So, yes, thank you for having us.
These are two of the top dogs of the marketing department. This is Nikki and Andrew. How are you guys, all right?
I wouldn't say I'm a top dog. I think Andrew, we can call Andrew a top dog.
You can call me a top dog, yeah. And that's the nicest thing Nikki's called me in a while. So.
Yeah,
That's it. You can see the partnership working very well.
Yes, yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about your roles. You guys are marketing.
So I've been here for 10 years actually yesterday.
Congratulations,
Nikki.
Nikki.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Had to get that in there. I'm marketing director of Beresfords Group. So oversee the whole group from a marketing point of view, events, PR, and Andrew effectively makes sure it happens on a day-to-day while I'm kind of, eating lunches out and just, schmoozing around.
Yeah, you're underselling yourself a little bit because you do a lot of new business as well. So you bring a lot of new business in, do a lot of work with the new homes team as well.
Another compliment.
Yeah.
You're working well. 2024
I know.
It's off to a
Your
flyer.
turn, compliment me. Go.
Happy New Year.
So you guys have got loads of different sites. You are the biggest in the southeast, is that right?
Independent, yes, we are.
Yeah.
Awesome. This one is obviously in Chelmsford.
Yes, Duke Street, for those that don't know, but of course you do, because how long has this Beresfords, or Beresfords in general, been running?
We have been running since 1968, which is quite...
remember the first
Over
one?
55 years.
Yeah. Don't know. Andrew has to help me with my maths sometimes. I get a little bit confused. But yeah, it's been a long time going, and it's, we're quite proud because we've been through peaks, troughs. We've seen, recessions. We've come out the other side and, weathered the storm. And hopefully things are taking a bit of a turn for the better this year, which we're quite excited about. And we'll talk to you guys about how the market is looking to show signs of positivity.
Well, yeah, we were literally just talking about this off camera, and I think we'll do the kind of businessy stuff first before we start chatting about Beresford some more. But you were saying that you think things are going to be a more positive outlook this year. So what are your kind
For sure.
of
I think the media last year was trying to push a bit of a narrative that the property market was going to fall off the edge of a cliff. I think the real story last year that it was really resilient. The prices, maybe drifted slightly, but actually they remain pretty strong. And I think that all the things that the property industry has been through in the last few years, everything from Brexit, pushing prices up, COVID, various housing ministers, I don't know, we're up to about, 48 in the last 12 days. The market's been really resilient because people always need to move.
Yeah, I think what you have to remember is from our point of view of kind of how the market's been is that we had a catalyst whereby everybody was moving because of the stamp duty reform. So it wasn't a realistic marketplace. It saw, huge savings. It pushed people to move. That then obviously stopped. It slowed down ever so slightly. Mortgage rates have traditionally been super, super duper low. I mean, you think back in the 80s, they were at 15%. People's houses were being repossessed. They just couldn't pay their mortgages. And obviously going up to 6% was a huge, change for people. And I think what the media were doing was really peddling this narrative, this story of, oh my God, doomsday. They've gone from 1-2% fixed to 6% and it's going to get worse and it's terrible. Actually, we are just about to hear that there's going to be a sub-4 rate released today. So actually it's showing real good signs. You're in the 3s is more realistic. We've had it really good for a long time, and I think it's had to get to that point whereby it is realistic, it's achievable and it's doable, and we are starting seeing really good signs that the market is going to get back to where it needed to be. I think it was just a media point of view, creating this frenzy of, oh my God, money's expensive now, the world's, cost of living crisis. Everything came at once, and I think it was a bit overwhelming for everybody.
Oh, it was massively doom and gloom, wasn't it? There wasn't like one element, it felt like at points to life, retail, so many different industries. It was, oh no, stay at home, don't go out, don't move, don't do anything. And it kind of scared everyone.
It's really strange because the media don't normally press that sort of thing, do they? They're not really supportive and helping us.
Yeah,
but
it was such positive.
It has left this cloud over people's heads. Now, there are some people that are fortunate, like you guys, that know a lot about this industry and this business, and if you're a seller, a buyer, whatever it may be. But there are people there that read the press and go, I don't know what's going on, don't understand it, and it scares the life out of them, understandably. So they need to come and speak to not necessarily the marketing department, but your team. So how's best to get in contact if it's not popping into the Chelmsford store?
I think for anyone that kind of wants to know what's actually realistically going on in the marketplace, you know, don't be scared to pick up the phone, come into one of the branches. We've got mortgage advisors, we've got, you know, really well-versed guys and girls that can give you an insight into what's going on and really kind of dispel some of the myths that are kind of knocking around that the media are peddling. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly the first thing to say is, do your research and get in contact with a professional. I mean, we're lucky enough to have Flagstone as one of our divisions. Cheers to Flagstone.
You can see we're in the marketing team, can't you?
Just place that here.
Camera.
And you know, we've got Scott in the back there, and we've got the team upstairs as well. And they're professionals, you know, they're there for a reason. So they'll give you the advice, and it's not about trying to push something on you or anyone else. It's about giving you the right advice for your current situation.
Yeah, of course. And I think people can pop in, call, email, visit the website. There's loads of different things. Obviously, this is for Chelmsford, but there are plenty of different sites. Do you know how many?
17. We've got 17 across Essex, which is, I mean, we're really proud of that. So we've got 17 physical branches, you know, Malden, Shenfield, Brentwood, Gidea Park, Harold Wood.
You've got to keep going now. No, you've got to keep going.
Colchester,
No one's chiming in.
Colchester, Billericay, Chelmsford, Brittle, Ingatestone.
That's 9.
No, go.
The
more.
London office?
The London office. Andrew.
Harold Wood,
I've said
Hornchurch,
Harold Wood.
Upminster.
There's
I try
lots
not
of
to listen to
we
you.
won't list them all. You can go onto our website and
I mean,
find
you've not done a bad job of...
I wasn't counting.
no.
Start again.
Yeah, exactly. See, I can't count. That's the problem. I'm like...
There's loads.
But also I think that goes to show the fact that you are the largest independent property group. You've got 17 branches across Essex. You're clearly doing something right as a company. What do you put that down to? You know, Beresfords as a group. Who are you?
I think I'll answer that question purely because of having been here so long. I think it's
10 years.
It's
10 years, yes.
Congratulations.
It's a testament to the fact that it's a fantastic company, the ethos, the values, the way that the business is run and the culture. You know, it started off as a one office practice in Upminster all those years ago. And it was Paul's mum and dad, Paul Beresford's mum and dad, that started it. And I know that Paul's dad fell out with him and didn't talk to him for quite a few days because he went ahead and bought the second office in Brentwood. So Paul had the vision to grow it and to make it bigger and to have more of an offering. And here we are today. And not only are we sales and lettings, we're also Flagstone Financial Services. We've got a land and new homes department, so we kind of represent a lot of the big names out there, small and large house builders selling their developments, both, you know, turnkey and off plan. We've got a survey division. We've got Country and Village, which is our top end kind of offering, equestrian, listed acreage. We've recently acquired Wybrow, which is a commercial property business that's been going since the 80s. So we've got big ideas about kind of growing that. So we're constantly looking at growing the offering and diversifying. So it's, I don't think Paul will stop. And we've got Alex, his son, at the helm now as MD. And you know, there's lots of exciting things on the horizon. So it's a good time for property. It's a good time for us. And it's a great company to be part of. And we're very proud of that, I think.
Well, I think, you know, culture plays a huge part. And actually last year, we picked up 16 awards for customer services. So I think, you know, each of the individuals working in the branches and the sales and lettings teams, you know, really believe in what they do. They really believe in the company and they really believe in providing a good service.
Actually, it's just reminded me, there were some numbers that I know, as a joke, we've mentioned you were here for 10 years.
Were you?
But again, off camera, there's quite a few people that have been here for a long time. And I think that kind of backs up what you're saying about that culture and the company that you work for. Staff retention across so many different industries is a real issue. But clearly, you know, when you've got the culture right and the values of a business, people don't go anywhere. They feel part of the family.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things with Beresfords, which really is great and really important to kind of highlight, is the fact that those people that have been with us for a long time, they've started as juniors and they've kind of climbed the ladder. We've got Carl Gable. I mean, 10 years is actually nothing in comparison. He's been here 30 years and that's phenomenal. He started out on an apprenticeship scheme. I think it was quite different in terms of, I think there was a name for it back then, wasn't it? YS,
I don't know what
it
before
was,
my
but
time.
it was back in the day before we were probably born. But, you know, he started out as a real kind of wet behind the ears, and he's literally climbed the ropes, and now he's, you know, sales director of the group. So there is real opportunity, and they really do kind of nurture and kind of support you. We've got Antonia, who's been with the company nearly 25 years. She's the group head secretary and EA of, you know, basically makes everything happen, keeps everything ticking, all the letters, all the correspondence. So it's not just the sales kind of side and the sharp end, it's also, you know, the back end, the things that, you know, you don't necessarily see. It's a real good team, isn't it? Real good group.
Absolutely, it is, yeah.
So, big question for you guys. What are your predictions for 2024?
Well, I think more than our predictions, actually, Flagstone MD John Lynham put out a piece just before Christmas talking about the market for this year. And fundamentally, what we think we're going to see is a lot of competition in the lenders space, so they're able to borrow money a bit cheaper now, which means that they'll be able to pass those savings on to consumers, you know, those looking for new mortgages and to remortgage. So we think, as Nikki said earlier, there's likely to be sub 4% rates out there for people looking. Obviously, it depends whether you want a 2-5-year fixed, etc. So I think it's going to be a more competitive market. I think those big lenders will need to compete with each other and pass those offerings on. I think the buy-to-let market, you know, hopefully, you know, again, just before Christmas, you know, throughout November, we saw more competitive rates there as well. So ultimately, you know, we think that prices are going to remain fairly stable. We don't expect any big jumps or kind of crashes or anything like that. And we think there's going to be some really competitive offers there for people that do want to move.
Access to the lending is going to be a bit easier.
Absolutely.
So where can people find that Flagstone blog, just in case they want to read it?
They can go on to flagstone.co.uk.
Could have guessed that myself. Should have, really. Go on, Nikki.
And I think that from our point of view and what our job is to basically educate the people out there that are constantly picking up the paper or reading online all of this news that isn't necessarily true or kind of is casting a shadow on the property market, and actually, you know, show that there are going to be signs of hope. I think that we will see a lot more movement, a lot more traction, and I think 2024 is going to be a good year. But I'm also in the kind of new year positivity.
Of course, yeah. Being kind,
Yes,
that's what we've got to do.
being kind to one another.
Who knows? But I think these are some good predictions. Obviously, flagstone.co.uk for the blog to find out a bit more about it. Look, there's a million things we can go through. We haven't got time for that. People can come in and see any of the team here or their local branch. So pop in and see your local branch if you're watching from elsewhere. All 17 again were
I'm not telling you. I can't even remember.
All available to find online. But
Yes.
Nikki, Andrew, thank you so much for having us. It's been really good.
Thank you very much. Really, really terrible plug before we finish, but anything that you need, property requirements, everything, multifaceted, big offering, go to www.beresfords.co.uk. That is... Andrew, do you want to reiterate?
Great.
No. I wanted you to say the website.
We'll all do it.
www.co.uk.
Just Google Beresfords.
Yes, Google Beresfords.
Well, no, don't do that.
No, don't do that. Find us. Actually, type in the web address, which I've kind of given you.
Beresfords.co.uk.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you so much. I've been Will Richards.
I've been Sarah Tapper.
Nikki Traffers.
And I've been Andrew Ames.
We'll see you on the next one. Happy New Year.
The Chelmsford For You podcast with Will and Sarah. Get involved, like, comment and share.